Hello everyone, my name is Brian and welcome back to another Assassin Apocalypse. Today we are going to take a look at Hun Batz, and just to start off with Hun Batz, let's start off with his passive. When you use an ability as Hun Batz, you will gain a passive buff for 3 seconds, and this passive buff increases the crit chance on your next basic attack for 30%. You'll have 30% crit chance after using ability to crit someone. This works on every single of your abilities. So a good thing to do is, for instance, using ability, hit a basic, use another ability, hit another basic. That way you can maximize the amount of potential crits you can get, maximizing your overall damage when you get them. His first ability is his leap. You see me use it here, and you can see the crit coming out as well. It is on the first basic hit, so not the first basic use. That's also an interesting thing to note. And my first ability was the leap, actually accidentally getting the kill on the on the Hercules, because I tried to leap because it was still on cooldown because I used it on the buff. It is a quite long cooldown, 15 seconds, without any cooldown reduction. So it is a long cooldown on the leap. Kind of makes sense, it is an escape. The leap also has another feature to it. It slows for 50% for 2 seconds when you hit someone with it. So it can be used to chase up to someone. If you hit them with it, they will be slowed and easier to kill altogether. His second ability, you see me use it a couple of times. But let's first pick up the Thanthos. Maybe we can pick up the Hercules as well. I missed my leap, he isn't slowed, so he will be able to get away. And unfortunately enough, our Jingwei is picked up at that point. His second ability is Overhand Smash. You will have a little charge up time on his ability. It is a cone-shaped ability dealing damage, and that's just all about it. Other than, of course, proccing his passive. Like I said, a little charge up time. In the charge up time, you can be interrupted, you can be silenced, you can be stunned, you can be knocked up, you can be... Any CC will work, but it won't go on cooldown when you are in the animation. So you will still be able to use it, but you will have to go through the entire animation again. Here you see me AFK for a little bit. I think it was someone was at the door, so I had to quickly go for that. But that doesn't matter for this point. I'll be back in a short time. As you can see, I'm already back. Third ability is an interesting one. You will throw out a monkey, and this monkey will, when it hits a target, will actually bounce to other targets. This interesting thing about this is the fact, ooh, that's a lot of damage. The fact that when it bounces, you will have the what's it called? The opportunity to teleport to your monkey. Okay, so if you throw out your monkey and it hits someone, it will bounce to the nearby target. Unless, of course, it's not close enough. As you can see, it bounces through to all the enemies. Actually, I'm able to get off my ultimate just in time. Ooh, barely dodging Hercules' ultimate with my leap. So it is a good way to escape the danger. But, like I said, it deals damage. It bounces. When you have hit the final bounce, it has 4 hits at maximum, so you can hit the first target and it will bounce up to 3 times. And with those bounces you will deal damage. And as you can see, it hit him, it didn't bounce any further. I pressed my 3 again and I teleported to him. You will have a brief time where you can actually teleport to the one that is hit by the monkey. And interestingly enough, for this one is the fact that you will teleport to the target that will be hit next. So if I throw out my monkey, and before my monkey hits anyone, if I press 3 again, I should teleport to them. As well as the fact that if it bounces, for instance, I hit an enemy, it bounces towards the next target. while it is bouncing and I press 3, I will be teleported to the next target, not the first one I hit. So that's interesting to note. It can also throw you off if you don't expect it. If you expect to teleport to someone but the monkey bounces further, you'll actually go to that target. It has interesting aspects to it, especially because if you use it, you'll have the additional crit. So what you see me do a couple of times, well, what you have seen me do a couple of times already, is the fact that I use my 3, teleport to the enemy, use my 3, well, to do that, and do a basic. With that basic having the additional 30% crit chance, which is pretty decent. Also, interesting to note, it has a good feature with the initiation he can perform with his ultimate. You've seen me use it a couple of times, I think. You will throw down a large totem, actually, and in a large area everyone will be feared away from the totem. Ooh, that was unfortunate. I wanted to use my ultimate, but since he was the only one that was nearby when the silence wore off, I figured not to use my ultimate at that point. But, like I was saying, ultimate, it will deal damage over time every 0.25 seconds. So that means it will hit 4 times each second. And while that is the damage, it will also fear them to the outside from the totem. From the center on, it will push them outwards. So if you place it properly, you can push them in the direction you want. There is a little charge up time on your ultimate. In that charge up time, you can be interrupted actually. If they do it properly, I think. I'm not entirely sure. There is not an awful lot of... well, when you throw it out and you get CC'd, there is still a little wind up time before your ultimate goes off. That's what I'm trying to say. Also, the duration is 1 second at rank 1 and it will actually go to a maximum of 2 seconds at the maximum rank of your ultimate. So this is an ultimate that actually increases in effectiveness as the game continues. As you can see, I leaped in onto him, hit the basic for the potential crit, did my 2, did again a basic for the potential crit. After that I could have used, for instance, my 3 to hit another basic for a potential crit. That way you can maximize the amount of crits you can get effectively. And it usually works. This time I didn't get any crits, but especially once you get some crit items, you can definitely build some crit items on Hun Batz. It's not necessary, but the Deathbringer or Malice is definitely very powerful on him, especially if you're going for a very high damage build. So I covered every single of his abilities. So he has a slow on his 1, a teleport on his 3, he has the crit in his passive, he has the Fear No Evil, his ultimate, to push people away and CC them for the duration while they are inside. Interesting to note, with the ultimate, if they are at the edge, they will be pushed out of your ultimate and they won't be CC'd anymore. So you kind of want them to have to be in the center of your ultimate to make it more effective. But you can also do it partially in a wall, so it will actually push them in a wall. That way they will be CC'd for the entire duration of your ultimate, while they still are at the same location. That way it's even easier to hit any skill shot on them. So, now I'll go over the build. There are a lot of options. This game I wanted to go for more a teamfight oriented build because of the bonus round. We are ahead by a good amount already, 17-3 actually. So that is a huge advantage at this point. But increasing that advantage is definitely something that I don't mind to do, of course. Not beautiful Odin ring actually. So we will be able to deal some damage to the Anubis. And picking up rather easily. There's not an awful lot that an Anubis can do once he actually gets stuck into a Odin cage. Just for the sheer fact that he relies on his lifesteal. And since he can't lifesteal in the Odin cage, as you can see here, actually pushing 2 of them in a wall. Beautiful Scylla ultimate. Beautiful setup for the Scylla at this point. Granting her the double kill with her ultimate. Getting her as a reset. And she's actually able to get the triple as well. So well played on her part. Thanatos is in the air, but he won't be close enough to finish me off with his ultimate. But damn, that's the power you can see. It is very obvious where someone will be walking when I use my ultimate on them, just for the sheer fact that it pushes outwards, so they will go in a straight line. Or in, for instance, if they are in a wall, as you can see, are actually teleporting behind, kind of surprising them a bit, I guess, because Hercules wanted to go for the pool. I teleported, avoiding that one entirely. And as you can see, you can also teleport to minions. I teleported to get out of the way a bit, and it worked out great, to be honest. And again, having my ultimate up, I have the full cooldown reduction at this point, and that's something I like a lot on Hun Batz when you go for those engagements. So, the build. Power boots, warrior tab ice is the best boots, pair of boots you can get for Hun Batz, definitely. He relies on power a lot. Every single of his abilities scale with power as well as deal damage. So it's a very powerful item altogether. Jotuns, even if you go damage build, Jotuns is definitely a recommendation, because of course he uses all of his abilities to either move out of the way or deal damage, initiate, etc, etc. So the cooldown reduction is very powerful. Since I'm against 3 physicals, the breastplate was my next choice, as well as the fact that I picked up a void shield. Void shield is very powerful because we also have 2 physicals on our team in addition to me. So 3 in total, providing me physical protection as well, getting physical penetration when I'm close to someone. And as you can see, they probably expect me to go because they are immediately focusing all their energy in me, trying to finish me off as fast as possible. I actually survive. I use my shell to reduce the damage on the ultimate of Hercules. And with the additional physical protection I have, I'm able to survive while initiating for my team. Hades was unfortunately able to get away by leaping into the base, but still, I forced out a lot in my opinion, and it definitely helped out. Unfortunately enough, it actually ended up being a deficit for us, since 3 of our teammates are picked up and actually have an insane long respawn timer. And you saw that beautiful crit already coming out on the Anubis. At this point I don't have my leap, I'm stunned and I'm dead. And actually the entire team is wiped for another 22 seconds. That is so long. That's the downside when you're ahead by such a long amount. Because just of the sheer fact that they have such a long time without anyone, they can push waves through our portal, actually getting a huge... well, the deficit will be lowered by a bunch. At this point I'll just go in, use my ultimate immediately, try to zone and get that thing to stop, but it was not enough. It has actually got through, as well as well, 2 of us were picked up as well. That's just rough, and it's not an awful lot you can do about it, but it's just very, very unfortunate that it happened, just for the sheer fact that there is not a single... Ooh, beautiful play by the Nox, by the way. But there's just nothing you can do about it. I used my ultimate, I tried to body block it, but I got destroyed instantly afterwards. As well as the fact that you don't have enough burst to burst it down when it's already in front of your portal. So it actually was the worst time for us all to die, because we, even though we're still ahead, it cost us a lot of our advantage. Not too much though, since... Okay, minion, what are you doing? Okay, I've never seen that one before. Never seen one actually stopping in front of the portal. It was like, should I go through it? It looks so scary. Please, no. Don't worry, I got your back, my man. I got your back. You don't have to go through the portal. That was an odd one. Oh well. I kind of wanted to go into a Titan's Bane, just because they are quite tanky on the opponent's side. But since I actually got destroyed by the Hades when I tried to defend the portal, as well as the Hades Anubis combo, since I don't have any magical protection, I think it's a bit better to go for a Bulwark of Hope at this point. As you can see, actually the interrupt I was talking about, I tried to use my 2, but actually the silence from the Panthers prevented it. So at this point, not an awful lot still I can do. She can try to one-shot someone. I don't think she has the damage yet. She isn't level 20 yet as well, so... But I can use my shell. Nox can go for the... Well, Panthers can go for the Nox. Won't be able to pick her up. Can we protect her? No, that's unfortunate. I missed a few of my shots, but he has a good amount of physical protection as well. That's also one of the reasons why I wanted to pick up a Titan's Bane, just for the sheer fact that I can get through the protections. I tried, it was not enough, but that's alright. Nox is actually playing very well in this game. Actually, my entire team is playing very well in this game. We have a good team coordination, and that's something you don't see an awful lot, especially if you're solo queuing. I'm almost always solo queuing. Well, not always, but most of the time I'm solo queuing. So, yeah. Let's see, can we pick up the Thanatos? I don't have an awful lot of damage. He can go for the Scylla, but Scylla notices, runs away. A little Nox ball in the face, and with Emerald range, as she is saying, is enough. At this point, the game is almost over, so I definitely need to pick up that Bulwark for that team fight we are heading into for that additional 10 points. Well, the 10 points are left to go, of course, but you'll get additional worshippers if you win, so that's definitely something you would look for. So, this game, I wanted to use this one just for the sheer fact that I used a lot of his mechanics. I used the teleport to the monkey a lot, I used my ultimate a lot to try and push them to my teammates. As well as the fact that you can use the slow on his 1. And of course the interrupt on his 2. His 2 is such a long animation that is really easy, as you can see. Going for the Anubis, probably the easiest target. I knew his beats were down, and he is down as well. There's not an awful lot he can do about it. This time I will be using the beats, and still has enough damage to finish off the Hades. Not an awful lot they can do. 40 to 15. Actually, the Thanatos is in the air with his ultimate, and this will be an issue. I'm not in the middle. I can't be using Shell for the entire team, and as you can see, Thanatos is in the air. What is this? What? Just because he ulted at the end of the game, he is in his ult still? That is so OP, dude! That is so OP! That is... And he's in the air again? He has 2 ults! That is not fair, man. I want 2 ults. Give me 2 ults. I kind of whipped my ult. My ult. Ah, crap. We don't have an awful lot anymore. We might be able to win this one. We do need to pick up this honor. Good amount of damage on... Oh no! Well, that kind of makes it very difficult for us. The Hercules had a beautiful push, pushing out our Odin. But the fact that Thanatos got 2 ultimates, kind of not fair in my opinion. There are multiple gods that have some advantage they can get beforehand. For instance, if you look at, let's see, good amount of damage, actually only outdamaged by our Jingwei, so well played on her part. But like I was saying, there are a few gods that have an advantage in the arena bonus round. For instance, Vulcan can set up his turret beforehand. If he puts it in the middle, it will already be shooting at the enemy. They will be still immune for the damage, but when it starts, it immediately shoots at someone. It's immediately set up, and he will still have the cooldown. So if it's destroyed, he can immediately put down another turret, providing a bit more damage. And as it seems, if you are Thanatos and you ult just before the round ends, and you don't come down yet, you'll have 2 ultimates. So that's definitely not OP. No. Yes. It's a bit OP. Just a little bit. Just a tad bit. But I picked up the beats. Kind of makes sense in this game. Thanatos, Silence, Honor, Pillar, Impale, Hercules Pool if you get comboed by it. Especially with an Anubis in the backline waiting with his rep. As well as the Silence and the ultimate from Hades. Kind of makes sense for me to pick up the beats. Especially because I went more power in the early on. So at that point the beats are just a lot more helpful. Then I went into a Shell. We didn't have a Shell on our team. That Shell is definitely very powerful for the bonus round, as well as for the team fights. It also saved me 1 or 2 times, I think. So, definitely a good pickup. 2 physical protection items. They have 3 physical, so it kind of makes sense. It also have the full cooldown reduction with the breastplate and the Jotuns, which is very powerful on Hun Batz. You see how much impact his ultimate can have, as well as the fact that you can use your abilities a lot more. What I usually do is use my free to get into the fight, because you can teleport. They will expect it at some point, as you probably noticed, but you can still use your 1 to escape, and you still have your ultimate to CC them. So that's also a good one. I went for the bulwark, but just of the fact that Anubis and Hades were doing good work at some point, so I needed some magical protection. If I was able to finish my build, I would have finished with a Titan's Bane. Of course, there are more damage-oriented builds. You can get a Deathbringer or a Malice in your build, and that way you will have increased crit damage as well as increased crit chance with your passive. You will have up to 50% crit chance when you have one of those items after each ability. So that's actually pretty good. Anyway, I hope you guys learned something about Hun Batz. I hope you guys enjoyed. And as always, good luck, have fun, and I'll see you guys in the next one.